Hello everyone, welcome to my the System Development Lab uh, visual demonstration series. Today we are going to see the seventh exercise, and the seventh exercise is the component and deployment diagrams for an e-commerce application system. So in this exercise we are going to see the component diagram and the deployment diagram. So what exactly is a component diagram? A component diagram is used to model the physical aspects of the objects in the scene. So component diagrams consist of the components as such. Components, it's symbolic representation. I'll show you that in the diagram, which will be discussed now shortly. And they are linked together with associations. They are also linked and connected to each other by means of the required interface and the interface which is ready to be acquired by the other component. So components connect each other by means of an interface, which is implicitly or explicitly specified. So that's what you see in a component diagram. A deployment diagram is the one where one node houses a set of components. So a node as such will contain maybe at least one component, and that in turn is connected to each other components in another node. The node as a whole can also be connected to another node it can be done. And so the data flow or the control flow occurs in a deployment diagram as well. So that's how we can define a component diagram and a deployment diagram. So let's see the scenarios and the sample diagrams that we have constructed. So in this diagram we have I'll magnify this image because it can't be easy for all of us to see it. Alright, this is a component diagram that is being made, and in it we have the data flows from left to right over here as to the way how I interpret it. The user logs in, and then the data flow occurs here at this interface, customer and ordering simultaneously, and then you reach the customer component. While it is doing so, it has an interface, an implicit interface that has the data access, and it's again in turn interfaced with the user and the product database, and it has another interface that is the data process schedule. Over here it has the orders and delivery component, and that is in turn interfaced with the security and system admin by means of an access control, and it has an extra interface that has the encryption feature. So there we have it. That's the that's the understanding of the component diagram as such. So moving on, we have the deployment diagram. Deployment diagram, as I said before, it's just you have a set of nodes, and in each node you have one set of the components, at least one component. Now again, this can be done. You can have a node and a subnode inside it, and then a component. That can also be done. That can also happen. So here the data flow occurs, considering a node, it occurs over here from main website to an application server by HTTP requests, and then again from this application server to the database server by means of an ODBC driver, and from this application server to the EJB container that is virtual or explicitly constructed. The flow occurs through the requests or the RESTful web services that has been offered, or simple object access protocol. That also, either way or the other. It's anyhow a website would have an MVC pattern, a model view controller architectural pattern. So that's in this manner is how the flow of control occurs between nodes. And here we have the components, and the data flow occurs from a login, from a user logging into from the main home page to his the products that he want to access, and then that in turn is housed by the application server for access in the product directory, and the user directory is for ensuring the user has logged in or not. Now there are multiple users logging in maybe at the same time or at different intervals, so that is also taken care of this by the user directory. So this again in turn has a data flow through this interface of the persistent infrastructure component by means of its access, and that is being housed by a database server. So and again that's in turn taken care of by the product database and the user database. It obviously makes sense because the entire node houses it, and the process, you don't need a connection because the flow of process happens within the node itself if it's the node's own components. So likewise, it's obvious to understand that the flow even happens within the node as well. So this is the understanding of how the entire component diagram and the deployment diagram looks like. So I hope you have understood this visual demonstration, and thank you for watching this. Thank you so much. Bye bye.